He'll get down on his knees and look you in the eye and be like, it's okay. I'm here for you. Like, you don't have to do anything to try and, meet my expectations, because like he says, like, our greatest works are like dirty rags to him, so he really can't. But that's also not saying that we should just be like, oh yeah, okay, I can do whatever. Because Jesus definitely doesn't say that, He tells us to walk in the Spirit and to follow Him, to be like Him, to be His disciples. And I don't think Jesus never taught His disciples, the 12 that followed Him, to just be, do whatever you want. He taught them the path of righteousness. He taught them the way to go. And so when we have those stressful times where it's just like, God, what are you saying? Or, what Satan, it's just kind of like, God is a God who will lead us to do things. And, He commands things. And it depends, because although He is constant, He is still a God of justice in specific ways. He's not going to say, well, I guess you can sin a little bit, because we might say, well, that's God using that side of kindness. Although He is constant, He still has to stick to specific areas. Like, you could take, for example, I was reading in Ezekiel, I think, and so like God is saying, okay, now I want you to go and kill all these people and have no compassion on them. And then you flip back a couple books into the New Testament and you find Jesus is saying, like, love your neighbor, have compassion, don't murder. And you're like, okay, what are you trying to say here? But the thing is, you always have to look at the context of what God is talking about. Because if you think that you're getting that pulling feeling to spend time in God's Word and it's annoying, I will bet you that that is God. Because Satan's not going to be asking you to spend time in God's Word. But at the same time, when you feel that pull, it won't be like, why? It'll be more of like, I'm kind of starving for this stuff. I really just, I want more of this. I want more of this depth. I want more of who this guy is. And so it's more of a leading, like Jesus grabs your hand and says, okay, we're gonna come do this, let me help you. It's not just like, alright, you're on your own, And He's always constant like that. And sometimes we don't really understand why it seems like He changes the way that He is, but He never does. A lot of times we have to look at the context of a setting or what's going on in order to understand. Because, we just assume that God is love, which He is. But He's only love, or only kindness, or only gentleness. Not this God who, which He is this stuff, but we don't assume that He's a God of wrath and anger and hatred towards sin. We don't see Him as one that, casts things down and says, okay, earth, open up so you can swallow these people, like He did. And, we just assume that He's a certain way. And like I said, He is constant. But He has these different qualities. Just like you could say the sun, it's always constant. It always has its same routine. But that doesn't mean that it's always only on the east side or always only on the west side. It's constant, but it has its different sides. And so, there's just so many different parts to so many different things, and I guess that was just one thing that kind of came to mind. But anyway, so just know for now, I'll get into a lot of other stuff later, but just know for now that God is constant, that God is who He says He is, and that just because He says one thing one place and one thing in another place does not mean that He's contradicting Himself. He is God. He has the right to do whatever He wants to do. We have no reason to question Him. But He is always right when He says He is constant. He is never changing. And it's because His character is never changing. His character does not change. It is one that hates sin. It loves justice. And through Him, justice will prevail. at his appointed time. So, just keep trusting him. Like, there's nobody else that we can trust like we can trust him. You know, because we can trust people our entire lives. I'm sure you've probably trusted plenty of people, and I know this as a complete and total fact, and that is that they have failed you because they're human. And yeah, I mean, we all have our things that we decide to put our trust in that aren't God, and then of course, like he says, and like it happens, they fail us. So yeah, but just keep trusting him, you know, and not just because he's the only one you got, but because he's everything, you know. He's our best friend, our father, whatever you want to call him. And don't just take him lightly either, because I mean, this is beyond what we can understand. So I gotta learn to be humble, because I'm not. I get caught up in what I think I can do, and I can't do it. So just wanted to encourage you with that. Don't stop trusting him, because he's everything you need, everything you will ever need, which is something I'm learning right now. And so yeah, I can't wait to share more. And that's I mean, like I said, I could go on for a while, but just for the sake of time, I'm cutting it off now. So thank you, and I hope you have an awesome day, and watch for the Father, because he's constantly around, always. So just watch for him, and he loves you. He loves you so much, and he misses you, and he can't wait to see you in heaven. So thank you. I really appreciate it.